What up, what up? Oh, hey dude, I have a question for you. How do you feel about retro games? Who am I kidding? Who doesn't like retro games? Yeah, I know you're there. But we don't play them that much nowadays. Or maybe that's just me. Who knows? Maybe they weren't even that good to begin with. Some people say that old games are only good because of nostalgia. Is that so? Well then I guess you already know what we're getting into. And it's not the TV. Not even a week ago I started playing Persona 4. The original came out in 2008. And let me tell you, I am having a blast with this game. After beating what is now one of my favorite games, Persona 5 Royal, I was looking for something similar. And after waiting a while, Persona 3 Reloaded came out, and I thought it'd be a match. It wasn't. But what actually was this low poly PSP bop right here. In my opinion. If you've ever played any of the newer Persona games, then you know that it's a pretty chill, laid-back experience. And I really did love Persona 3 Reloaded. But I guess since the source material is a lot older, I didn't exactly have the atmosphere that I wanted. I mean, nothing you can do about it really. So I was like, fine, let's just try Persona 4 Golden just cuz. And I wasn't expecting a game this old to fill that void I had for... You know, it's the same franchise, I don't know why, but we're here now. And that got me thinking, are retro games, as old as they are, on par with some modern games? Bars. What is it about games from back then that makes them worth playing now? Let's talk about it. Tech is gonna keep advancing and graphics are gonna keep getting better, so I don't expect everyone to find games like these immersive. But lately, it feels like I've been hearing this and that about modern games and its problems, and you might have too. A lot of modern games seem to fall short in ways players are pretty quick to mention, huh? But hey, every game has its problems, and I think sometimes we overanalyze the small stuff. What I also think is that the process of developing modern games might have these developers spread kinda thin. There's a lot of boxes that gotta be checked off for games nowadays. More than before, I'd say. With that being graphics, story, mechanics, or quicker release dates, AAA devs have a lot on their plate. It is always nice when a game from a large studio delivers in every aspect promised, but I know that there's a lot of variables that need to be thought about when it comes to making games on this scale. After a game releases and the story is a little off, or the graphics are inconsistent in quality, you might start to think, gaming wasn't really like this before. Less glitches, more content, and a stable release. What did older games do better? Well, I have a theory. Nah, I don't really think older games did everything better. Like when you look back on a game from the past, say before 2013, in one way or another, you might call it simple. Or simple compared to right now. But I think simplicity actually might be its biggest strength, because maybe graphically the game wasn't that detailed or it was super linear. It was always made up for in other aspects. This might be why games had such iconic and memorable characters or moments, because the developers wanted to flesh that out as much as possible compared to the other aspects of game design. Keeping it simple in one area let them be able to highlight other parts. Technological limitations might have actually even helped developers pick the right battles when it came to what to focus on when making their game. Like Resident Evil's PNG backgrounds or some other clever graphical workaround from the past. And I find that when newer indie games follow the same development style, Disco Elysium, Hotline Miami, Project Zomboid, even Stardew Valley, they're all games that are completely different, but they shine mechanically, gameplay wise, or story wise because of their sacrifice graphically. I bet corners would be cut or release dates would be pushed if they were trying to make the game do more than it needs to do. AAA studios have the funds and the time and the crew to make a game that checks all boxes. I see it in games like Baldur's Gate or Elden Ring. I think some games might be mismanaged in one way or another and lose that main attraction that sets it apart for all those little different nitty-gritty things that come with the industry standard of AAA games. You ever feel like a game loses its spark by focusing on something it doesn't need to at all? Things like that. Also, I do think there could be some nostalgia that might make older game flaws easier to overlook or something like that. But there are people like me who didn't grow up with these older games and older consoles, and because I wasn't even born. But I still recognize it as something that delivers a solid experience. And I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't always cool with the idea of spending my time now playing older games. But now I think they're 100% worth a shot. When you're immersed in a game, I promise you don't think about the graphics. Unless they're like graphical errors. There's just as much charm, there's just as much care put into the game, and there might even be a little bit more in there. So I'm starting to think that the younger you are, the more you should actually play retro games, instead of saying, there's nothing to play, or I hate this game, when you got like 500 hours in it. I get it though. For me, it felt like what I play next has gotta be perfect. So don't laugh. Don't laugh. I was gonna wait until the Persona 4 remake released in how many years from now? But nah, I'm actually glad that I gave the original, or it's the golden version. I'm glad I gave it a shot. It's super vibey, super chill, I'm digging it. But this poses another question. When a remake is released, are the originals worth playing still? I mean, some of you guys are like, duh. Here's the thing though. I bet there's a lot of oddities and quirks in older games that have been taken out for a more modern approach that a new player wouldn't know unless they played both games. But here's the thing. If I was to recommend you a game that had a remake, and the remake itself, which one are you choosing? I got you there, huh? The nice thing about remakes is that they always want to improve on something from the previous game, but you really can't have it all, because it's different. I made a whole video on this already. Kinda. It's about, yeah, you should watch it. Yeah, alright, yeah, that's it. Before I go, I want to say one more thing. I pretty much only talked about narratives or campaigns, but if you look at fighting games in the fighting game scene, you still see people playing like Melee, Street Fighter 3, or Tekken 5, and they're still going kind of strong. I guess what I mean is that if it isn't broke, don't fix it. Retro games are like the foundation for games now, a very solid, unbuggy foundation. You can definitely find a retro game that does what a modern game now doesn't, I think.
The game's over.
Dude, let me tell you the real reason retro games are better, bro. Let me tell you. Kingdom Hearts 2 was 3 gigabytes. 3. Kingdom Hearts 3 is 75. It's over. Another video complete. This is literally the last thing that I do before I finish to ship off these videos. So that's why I'm always hyped, because everything's done. Everything else is done. Thank you for watching. Thank you for 800 subs. Thank you. Another filler episode, but the next video will be longer. I promise. What else do I gotta say? I guess I should say, I'm gonna be honest, every single time I make a video, I'm always on the fence, because, you know, views are on everything, especially since I'm not getting paid. I'm just making these things because they're fun. But more importantly, I'm making it because you guys are always there. You know, you guys, no, the cream to my crop, the peach to my what I don't even know. Anyway, yeah, I appreciate you guys. That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you. You guys really make it really easy for me to make another one and another one and another one. That's all I have to say. Good night, everybody.